for February 2018. This is for $20 and up patrons, and we have got a lot of questions to get through this month. So let's go ahead and get started. Our first question comes in from somebody whose comment was eaten on Patreon. Patreon just does that, and it's really weird. But they emailed us. We got it taken care of. If you ever have your question eaten on a Q&A, just go ahead and email askeasyallies@gmail.com, and we'll get you set up and taken care of. Just like we got Miguel Shadow Marba Rivas taken care of. The topic is You Stay Classy San Diego. The background, explaining who, what, when, where, and how is a difficult task. Reputable news organizations attempt to deliver events in a non-biased manner. Video game journalism delivers the news through the prism of a person's worldview. A typical gaming news cycle includes rumors, leak/reveal, preview, and review. Journalists take in the information and then put it back out to the audience as best they can. Easy Allies landed in the #1 spot as the most trusted publication of 2016 on OpenCritic. This is an incredible feat considering how new Easy Allies is. Walter Cronkite, has my favorite sign-off, which is, "and that's the way it is." Those are powerful words meant to instill accurate representation of world events. Video game journalists can all give different worldviews on the same new news coverage. What are the Allies' opinions on Easy Allies' journalistic endeavors? How do we feel about the information we're putting out there in the world? Go ahead.
Yeah, well, we're reviewers, critics more than journalists, right? We're not investigating news stories. We talk about the news on the podcast. Yes, that's where the OpenCritic came from. It's not that we pulled out some amazing truth. We're just honest about our opinions. I think part of that is like we are kind of open about where we're coming from. So it's like, even though we do have perspectives, people may have leanings one way or another. I think it's very easy to read and easy to know that we're trying to be fair with everything that we're doing, and spread the love as much as we can.
Absolutely. I think we're so open to questions. Like, if anyone ever has questions, they know where to find us, I think we yeah, I don't know how to say that. I guess
transparency.
Yeah, exactly. Transparency. Thanks, James. Yeah, we're just so transparent. Yeah. I think everyone is honest with themselves and with each other. We all hold each other accountable. But yeah, if anything is out of the ordinary, I think we're good at being transparent and talking about it. We don't just move on or hide or anything,
Yeah, and I think everybody's done a really good job of kind of putting themselves out there. And so, when myself or when Huber or Ian or whoever it is talks about a game, you kind of know what we like and what we don't like. We've put ourselves out there and talked enough about things that when we're talking about something where we're coming from, where it's like, okay, this person doesn't tend to like these types of things, and so I know that is influencing their opinion because they've been honest about that. And I don't think we try to hide that. I don't think you can perfectly chase after I feel neutral about every video game always all the time. That just can't happen. And so I think we're aware of our own biases, I guess, for lack of a better term, and try to put those out there and try to let you know, hey, this is particularly where I'm coming from. But yeah, I don't know about you guys, but I don't think too much about the weight of it. I guess I don't think about the audience or anything too much. It's sort of just this is how I feel about a game. These are my thoughts, and I try not to let other stuff cloud that too much.
Yeah,
because I think you can overthink it for sure.
Yep, totally.
What I like too is that a lot of our work is not produced in a vacuum. So whenever we're on the podcast, there's at least 3 other people listening to what you're saying that can be like, you're out of your mind right now, be quiet. Or, if we're on a lot of times we do previews, the best previews we do, I think are when at least with one other person there to just kind of bounce this idea off of. I went to play the preview event for Metal Gear Survive. So it's nice to sit down with Kyle and be like, I kind of had fun, but I'm concerned about this. What do you think about that? And then I think even when we do solo streams, we have our wonderful community in chat that can correct us and provide links or context to anything that we're bringing up. So I think that's one thing that's helped the transparency is that we're always speaking with the idea that someone is speaking directly back to us. That's not just like, I'm going to put this opinion on the shelf and then I'll find out 2 weeks later when I finally read YouTube comments like, oh, I actually didn't know what the heck I was talking about. I think we're just kind of always in that state. And so we're always ready to accept the fact that we've gotten something wrong or we need to revise our education.
Sure. Cool. Our next question comes in from Tim. He says, hey, allies, Easy A is tasked with organizing a video game roundtable discussion. Who from the industry would you get to attend? Thanks for reading my question, and shout out to Caesar for reminding me to update my reserved Q&A slot. Cool. Who would you invite to a video game roundtable?
I'd invite... sorry.
Hideki Kamiya. Sorry, Blood. Go ahead.
I'd invite Austin Winery just because I know he'd show up.
He'll be there.
Hidetaka Miyazaki.
Mm-hmm.
Big boy.
I would invite Joseph Fares because after the Game Awards, like that dude just has so much energy and passion that I want to see that energy and passion bounce off other really passionate creators as well. I don't know.
Hideo Kojima.
Heck yeah.
A lot of the greats in there. I like it.
Dude.
I'd like Cory Barlog.
Yep.
Like right around when God of War comes out, that'd be so fun. Or like right after, like if we all could finish it and then have him on and just do like a full discussion.
It'd be cool if we could get like right after the new God of War, every director from throughout the history of the God of War series, like they've all played it as well, and you kind of have like this comprehensive look at the new game. That'd be
so
sick.
Fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Any other suggestions?
I'd pick Gabe Newell.
Yeah, that's good.
And Jeff Keighley to moderate.
Yeah, gotta have
You do,
Keighley.
John. Yeah.
Gotta have Keighley to moderate.
I don't know. I might want Ben to moderate.
I wouldn't want me to moderate. I'd just be like, hey, you're amazing. Bye. Thanks for making the video games I love. I'll just be here in my little core. You say whatever you want. Yeah.
I don't know. You did a good job at the NIS thing last year.
Well, thank you. If you go and you watch the NIS video, we were like drinking, like everybody had a beer and they both had a lot of their beer. And like, I put the cup to my mouth, didn't drink anything, and then put it back down because I was so nervous. But that'll happen when you're trying to conduct an interview and you're freaked out. Our next question is from Caesar. And so it seems like he was reminding people to, because like sometimes they'll get into the Q&A and they'll just reserve a spot, and he was reminding people to update that. And so I appreciate you doing that, Caesar. It's very nice of you. Caesar says, hello, allies. I want to build a gaming music library, and I'm counting on your wise input. Blood will either love or hate this, is what he's put in parentheses. I'll be using the following months to gather your favorite soundtracks from all time. Since we are dealing with over 30 years of gaming history, we'll be focusing on a different console each month, but don't think about exclusives. Multi-platform games count. Also, this is not a debate. We don't want to narrow down. We want to expand. If 5 games pop to mind, don't choose. Just mention all of them. Be risky. Be wild. This month, the Wii U. What are your favorite soundtracks on that system? Tropical Freeze.
Went for that.
Mario Kart 8.
Mario Kart 8 is good.
Smash Brothers. Got a bunch of stuff there.
Anytime there's a Smash Brothers, for sure.
Yeah.
I'd put Bayonetta 2 on there, dude.
And Bayonet.
Bayonet.
Super Mario 3D Land, of course.
Yeah.
World.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
They both have good music.
That's it. That's every Wii U game.
Well, no, Splatoon. Really good.
Oh, yeah.
you forgot
really good
Splatoon.
Sure. Smash Brothers for Wii U as well.
Yeah, we got that. Rayman Legends.
Sorry.
I mean,
not like maybe the best, but it's a good one.
Yeah, no, that is a good one. I'm hesitant about. I mean, they do have their own soundtrack versions. They're slightly updated, but they're not They're not like originally on Wii U. But both Wind Waker and Twilight Princess have amazing soundtracks. Wind Waker especially, but those are like updates, HD updates. So I don't know if you count those or want to
count them.
Count it. All out. It's Zelda.
Yeah.
I'm not as familiar with Xenoblade X's soundtrack. So I don't know how.
I would put it on there. It's very divisive, but
yeah, you might as well. Just cut out half of it before you finalize the playlist.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah. What about Tokyo Mirage Sessions?
Yeah, definitely. I would put Tokyo Mirage Sessions on there.
Yeah.
There are things I would put above it, but
yeah, I'm hesitant. Like Hyrule Warriors is interesting. Yeah. Do you like rock versions of like Zelda music? Yes. Okay, you might like this.
maybe Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate just to get the Monster Hunter theme in there. I don't know.
I don't think I've listened to it enough, but Pikmin 3 should have good music.
Yeah.
Should.
Yeah.
Just like, because I have more fond memories of the first game, I didn't play Pikmin 3 as much.
Does Star Fox Zero have a good soundtrack, Damiani?
It's okay. I mean, I probably would not suggest. I guess it has better renditions, but like, I don't know. Star Fox 64 and original Star Fox come to mind as like the best soundtracks for that series, especially OG Star Fox.
Thinking of Captain Toad as well, but I'm struggling to remember the music.
It's nice music, but I wouldn't say it's stand out enough. It just sounds nice when you're playing each level in that game.
Do you guys think Captain Toad will get a sequel on Switch?
Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, people are asking for it. I hope it makes it.
Yeah, I hope it does too.
Mass Effect 3 came out on Switch. That's a good soundtrack.
Sure.
Or not Switch, Wii U. Now I'm getting my everything mixed up today.
And Batman. Arkham.
Yeah.
I love those soundtracks.
Although Batman is a better score in game than to just sit down and listen to. So it depends on what his purpose is.
What's the name of the Wii U version of Batman? Is it Armored Edition? Is that
Yeah.
Cool. Our next question comes in from Alexander. He says, I've noticed that only 5 of you have joined Fiasconauts. I know that improvisation is hard, but when I look at Damiani's trolling or Blood's breaking out of Frame Trap or Brad's creativity in tabletop escapades, or when I look at Don, it's really hard to believe that you can't pull it off. Brad, you were just in the latest episode of Fiasconauts.
Gotcha.
If you don't play Fiasconauts because of schedule conflicts or a lack of interest, I understand and respect that, but if you simply doubt yourself, please consider giving it a try. It's not a live show, so if it will not work, you can just delete the footage and never speak about it.
That simple, but
The last one we did was Brad, Ian, and myself, and it was rated R.
Yeah, super rated R.
Rated R for language.
I really like
drug use.
I came out while you were shooting it to get something outside, and I love the zero context Fiasconauts, just like walking up to the door and just hearing like, "Oi, get back here with my package!" And just like, all right, I wonder what's going on there. Okay.
Yeah, it was good.
Blood Damiani,
later.
just not your thing, or busy,
yeah,
or?
I have no idea on that stuff. Yeah, totally
We'll
outside of my headspace.
Same thing. And like I don't really prefer, my talents don't lie in doing improv stuff as well. So I'm pretty bad at coming up with on the spot. Like I'd have to have everything like written out for me. Like when Kyle, for anything you've ever watched me in that like was like a comedy bit, Kyle would always, or Elise would always have written or Ian would have written my lines for me. So I was like, all right, I can do that. But coming up on my own is just like not gonna happen.
I have a hard time coming up with answers to these Q&As.
Some final Bossman bonus bits, Damiani, you did really, really well in. And I know Kyle still speaks fondly about them as well. So, yeah. Okay. Next question is from John.
I'm hearing some echo from someone.
I'm hearing an echo too.
I've heard it. It's weird because everyone has headphones, so I have no idea where it's coming from.
Echo.
Echo.
Marco.
Hear it.
Last but not least, Jones.
Jones.
Echo.
That's that is
It's a
weird.
ghost. It's a ghost.
Yeah,
Can somebody just cut out us saying echo out of context? Faster on the internet. All right, our next question comes in from John. He says, I recently finished Persona 5. Blood, you also recently finished Persona 5.
Yeah, blood.
After playing it for months, and it got me thinking about all the great Japanese games released over the past year. It's been quite the comeback for Japanese developers with Persona 5, Resident Evil 7, and all of the great Nintendo exclusives. My question for you guys is, what do you think caused this resurgence of incredible Japanese games after all of this time?
Couple things. Quality and just a new era, you know? Like PS4, Xbox One, just making it easier to know about games and get games than ever before. You know, and that's coupled with excellent releases. Like Resident Evil 7 kind of had a soft reboot, so people that maybe had never played other Resident Evils hopped in. Same thing with Yakuza 0. Same thing with Monster Hunter. Persona 5 is standalone. So just all these opportunities to hop into franchises without having to be all caught up on Xehanort and Nobodies and 9 other games in the series.
I think that there was a real hurdle with Japanese developers to where that the combination of the jump to HD and the ridiculous difficulty of the PS3 hardware really kind of stunted what they were able to do early on in the last generation. So now that we have easier platforms to work for, and they've had a couple of years to like figure out what those workflows look like now, I think they're back to focusing on just making great games.
Mm-hmm.
Sick.
Well, I mean, Japanese games came back in 2009 with Demon Souls, so that's like when it started again.
Yeah.
I wholeheartedly agree with everything Blood said. It's just so funny playing Dynasty Warriors 9 and it feeling like Japanese developers trying to figure out HD again, where there's just this extreme level of roughness that is hard to wrap your head around.
Right. But it's like you remember like weird quotes like last generation with like Final Fantasy 13. It's like, we can't make towns in HD.
Oh,
I'm like,
yeah, dude.
people are making towns, guys. I don't know what you're talking about.
I can remember before Brad and I were in the industry, before Final Fantasy 13 came out, I can remember, it's such a weird memory. I remember always asking you, Brad, I was like, are there going to be towns in Final Fantasy 13? Like, have they shown those yet? Like, what's the deal, dude? He's like, I don't know, man. Like,
yeah, dark times.
Going back and watching like some of those 13 promotional videos.
I feel like Japanese games are trying to westernize a lot of their games at the beginning and just kind of losing their core fan base. But now they're kind of going back to that and they're succeeding way more.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, the way that they were aggressively westernizing before, like trying to mimic the style of Western games or having Western developers who couldn't capture the essence of a game take over a series, like all of that stuff just felt like horribly misguided. And the way that they're trying to westernize now feels like a lot more subtle and reasonable while still like maintaining what made groups of people care about those games in the first place.
Yeah.
Like Yaiba Ninja Gaiden Z is an abomination.
that is an abomination.
It is an
I wanted it
abomination
to be
of
a
a
swimming
video
in
game.
sevens, Ben.
Huh?
I wanted it to be a swimming in sevens.
It's like a swimming in twos.
Yeah.
It's like you swim in this pool, you'll die.
Yeah.
It's bad.
And what's funny is like if you think about early Final Fantasy or Mega Man or Castlevania, like none of those things felt all that Japanese, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like they didn't have to go out of the box to be not Japanese.
It's so interesting to look at Dragon Quest. What do you guys think? Do you think that they were like after 8, do you think they just went to 9 because of the 3DS popularity or because they were intimidated by the PS3 architecture?
Probably a little of both, but they've always gone for the most popular.
Yeah, and they said as much about Dragon Quest IX. Is like, hey, this is the kind of play experience that we want. This is how people are playing games.
Yeah.
Like they spoke to that specifically with Dragon Quest IX. And I mean, like Dragon Quest 11 is also on 3DS, as well. So.
But what about 10? Like going to Wii U and like an MMO? That's such a weird.
Wii though.
Weird
Wii was huge.
Oh, it was also on Wii. I forgot about that. It was on both. Got it.
Cool. It started on Wii.
Crazy.
Yeah, then it went to PC, then Wii U, right?
I think so. I think that's how it went. I think it was Wii, PC, Wii U. And then I think it's eventually came to 3DS and phones as well.
What?
I'm a little hazy on that. Yeah, I'm a little hazy
I don't
on that,
remember
but I
that.
think that's correct. Yeah.
Still never got it.
Weren't they bringing Final Fantasy 11 to phones as well? Like some weird.
Whoa.
What?
Yeah,
Brandon,
I don't think that happened.
Marcus
Never played
Kresnick.
it. Never
bring that
played it.
paladin back, Brandon. Let's go.
Okay, so Dragon Quest X is on Wii, Wii U, Windows, Android, iOS, 3DS, PlayStation 4, and Nintendo Switch.
What?
Damn.
Wow.
PS4.
But not
dude.
America.
And Switch.
Not America.
Switch.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Dang it.
All right. Our next question comes in from Caden. He says, "Hey, allies, I recently got to play with Huber and Jones on Fortnite Battle Royale. I was Bravo Ghost.
Dude.
I had a blast, and I'm already a $60 patron. I was wondering if you guys could do a $70 or $80 tier where once a week or so I could play with those in that tier. I have some ideas on how it could work and would just really like you guys to think about it. Thanks."
Wait,
I don't know.
play with us?
I don't know about that, Bravo Ghost, but when I see you on Fortnite, dude, I will just hop right in, man. Don't even trip. So fun.
Yeah, I
I
think
feel-
it's an organization puzzle more than anything. Having the right games and the right timing, and yeah, I think I do think it works out better for it to just be more off the cuff.
Because what if you're just playing a game randomly and you get someone in with you, but then there's people who are paying to play with you?
Mhm.
It's weird.
Is he talking about playing with us or playing with other
Us.
patrons who? Okay, because I know Kind of Funny awesomely does the squad up. I think it's called. I forget the exact name of the thing, but it's like
Mhm.
every episode someone says, "Hey, I need help on this game," and like other people rally up and join, which I think is really cool.
Let's just steal it.
Well, Ben, you kind of do that with the D&D, very limited group. You have to organize. It's a lot of work.
Yep, it is. Yeah, I think I would worry about organizing something like this because when it's like, hey, play games with us, you're going to get a group that wants to play a bunch of different things. And how do you balance that? How do you decide what to play? How often you play? I think it's a good suggestion. I really do. I like it. And if that's something that a lot of people want, I think it would be wise for us to like try to figure out a way to solve it. But yeah,
Games move so fast too, man.
Yeah,
So
they do.
you know,
And you're like, you've been through this recently. Not only do games move so fast, but there are more games than ever that demand a huge amount of time.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, okay, let's play Warframe, right? Like that's an undertaking. That's gonna take an effort. And it would be awesome, but we'd have to figure out how to balance that in a way that makes sense.
yeah.
Unless we could all just agree to play Monster Hunter World, then maybe it would be okay. I don't know.
When are they going to put a Souls boss in Monster Hunter?
When are they going to put a Monster Hunter boss in Souls?
Exactly.
When are you going to get that Shenmue skin? I don't know.
Don't.
The sky is
Next
limitless.
question.
Rio's jacket.
Yeah, that's all you need.
Next question is from Michael. Hello, Easy Allies. I'm really looking forward to E3. So I've been watching your 2017 E3 streams. They were amazing. Anyhow, then I got an idea for the Hall of Greats stream in June, right before E3. Couldn't you pick 2 E3 trailers as well? Do both games and trailers. I think that is a super cool idea, Michael. I like that a lot.
Wait, pick 2 trailers for like what to go in?
Yeah, they want Hall of Greats for trailers.
Trailers?
And we picked 2.
Yeah, what if just like every year for the Hall of Greats around E3, you just induct 2 E3 trailers?
Oh, nice.
And that's the only time you do it.
What say you, Jones?
It's weird. It's weird to have a Hall of Greats. I'd want it to be a separate Hall of Greats. I want it to be called something else. You know, like I don't know. It's weird to have a Hall of Greats. Can we put board games in there? It's like I went to a nice barbecue place the other day. Is that it's like, and that's just me. That's just
Speaking of
part of me wanting to.
when we were traveling a couple weeks ago, like. We were in Solvang, it's like a little Dutch town up in kind of north of Santa Barbara.
Love that, yeah.
Awesome Chinese restaurant. It was really funny, like Chinese restaurant in like a Dutch style building,
Put it in.
Well, Brendan, he's being like extremely specific that you do it this one time of year and that you celebrate this event, and I think that's why I like it so much. Mm-hmm. I think it would just be exciting around E3, build up anticipation. There's so many great E3 trailers. I think it would be a fun, lively discussion.
I see where you're coming from. I want to call it something else. I'm a fan of doing it at the Hall of Greats induction ceremony, and I'm always a fan of honoring trailers. I would just want to call it something like when we address that trailer, we say it's something is one of the greats. We're specifically talking about games. But if there's something like a gold star trailer or something, like I'd be down.
Sure. Metal Gear Solid 2 immediately comes to mind. There are plenty. We could
stuff. Some of those trailers were good in the time. And it comes up with greats too, where it's like, okay, Super Mario Brothers is great, but is it like 2018 great?
Sure.
And I think in a lot of ways you can dissect some of these old games and show like, yeah, the music still holds up, the gameplay compared to, if you were making a side scroller today, you would wish it would, control as well as the original Super Mario Brothers and 1980, whatever. But some of those old trailers, there's no wiggle room. It is what it is. And so some of those old things that we remember at the time for being so revolutionary now are like, it's a little rough.
Well, you also get into that weird space where it's like, is the trailer great, or was it the fact that it showed us stuff about this game that we never expected great,
right. Sounds like we got a debate, folks.
I also feel like how you feel about a trailer is obviously influenced by whether or not you've played the whole game, and it's different than when you're rating contemporary E3 trailers. But yeah, I don't know, something to talk about.
Interesting going back and seeing the original Bloodborne trailer, which showed one of the endings of the video game.
Did it? I actually didn't know that.
Yep. One of the endings of Bloodborne is in the very first Bloodborne trailer. Or the second one, sorry, the one that showed gameplay.
Whoa.
Never watched trailers.
Yeah.
They're evil.
Next question is from Joseph. Hey, allies, your 2-year anniversary concert, or whatever you want to call it, is in less than a month, and I'm happy to say that I'll be traveling from the East Coast to attend. 2 hardcore Disney fans will be coming with me for Disneyland, and it's the first time any of us have been to California. We're not sure what to do with ourselves on the Friday we'll be arriving, other than to go try out the Star Wars VR experience at the Void, per Ian's suggestion. We've already booked a slot at 4 p.m. What other suggestions do you have for us to do in the area? Any locations to avoid, or just general tips? We plan to use Uber or Lyft rather than rent a car because I hear parking is as rough as driving. I'll be coming back to California in the foreseeable future, so I want to make this trip worthwhile. I know you've gotten this question before, but a refresher would be much appreciated, and I imagine things can change in a year. We are a blank slate. Do with us what you will.
Get to the beach if you can.
Yeah, I was trying to think like which exact beach to recommend, but I'd say definitely get out to. It's hard though because if he's Ubering, like going down to like Laguna or something might not be the best use of money and time.
Well, like Santa Monica's congested, but it's still a fun spot. It's iconic. Like and I don't know if they're going to continue to do E3 Judges Week and stuff, but when you hear about like everybody coming out for Judges Week, like all that's there. It's all and all the hotels and the resorts around there, and
Promenade's cool to walk around for sure.
It's great, great restaurants, and but it's kind of like City Walk Universal. Like it's a little cheesy. But
they still have the dinosaur topiaries. Have they took us out yet? I haven't been there for a little bit.
Oh, I don't know. And it's funny too saying the area. It's like I'm going to be in the area. It's like if Disneyland is not in the area, it's like, it's a good 45 minutes to an hour away. And so when you talk about like Los Angeles County, like it's a pretty massive area. But God, Ian was really good at this. Ian would just throw out, and Amanda's really good at restaurants. But God, I feel bad. Of course, I'm the one who suggests all the theme parks, but it's just they're like all way overpriced. So
Hollywood Boulevard is really sketch, but it's still fun to see for the first time. Like seeing the Chinese theater is awesome, and all the handprints and shoe prints. Like it's cool. It's a really sketchy area, and not like it is in the movies, but it's still worth checking out at least once.
It's also nowhere near as sketchy as it used to be.
For sure.
It's pretty tame now.
Yeah. It's just as sketch as in like there's a lot of action, a lot of people coming up to you, and people approaching you and shoving things in your face and asking questions. And if you don't like people or want to be alone, I would avoid it, but it's still cool to check out.
Yeah, the point about not having a car, using Uber and Lyft, like it sounds like they're going to be mostly in Anaheim area. Like, is that Star Wars VR The Void? Is that in Anaheim?
Yeah,
it might be hard even for them to travel up to Hollywood. Like with how long? I don't know how long they're staying. If they're there Friday and Saturday, Sunday. I don't know. I mean, it's worth trying, but like I'm really bad at like Orange County, Anaheim area. Like it's like really close by. Only thing I can say is like, I mean, you probably have it on the East Coast, but if you haven't, go to Raising Cane's.
Oh my God, dude.
Go Raising Cane's, baby. And what's the hot dog place? Portillo's. If you don't have that. Yeah.
Go to Del Taco.
Go to Pink's.
Don't go to Del Taco.
Del Taco.
If that was a bit.
The concert will also be at on the USC campus, which is just immediately south of downtown LA. And so if you want to scoot into downtown and check out some of the restaurants there, or just get into LA Live where E3 is, if you want to see where E3 is every year and get kind of a frame of reference on how big that area is.
Drive up the street and just see the convention center.
Yeah.
The Dodgers will not be playing at that time, unfortunately.
Yeah, I was like, no, I don't think it's too early.
Too early.
Yeah, just basketball.
Thanks, everybody, for your suggestions there. Our next one is a feel-good one from Robert. He says, no question this month. Stay lovely. Sweet.
Cool.
Following that up, we've got Eduardo, who's taking us to task. He says, hello, allies. It's still the beginning of 2018, and I thought it would be a good idea to update you all on your bets and verify if we are missing any. I did not include information on the bets to keep it short. Apologies if this isn't the platform for this. These are the bets that the outcome may be known, but the stakes have not been performed. Sorry if they have already been completed. Bosman versus Huber, Life is Strange 2, featuring a new playable character. Is there a playable character? Huber versus Bosman, Sonic Forces, featuring microtransactions. Are there any microtransactions? Bosman versus Huber, which will sell more Destiny 2 and Call of Duty World War 2. Huber versus Ben, the Titanfall 2 Black Friday deal.
What happened with the Life is Strange one?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm just reading what he read.
I think he's being more brief than helpful.
Yeah, because Life is Strange 2 is like confirmed you're new people in a new place.
Yeah, some of these have been answered too. The Titanfall thing, the Titanfall costume. I've said this multiple times. It'll premiere when we do the full playthrough of Dragon's Crown, which is coming out in May. So that's when you'll see the Titanfall costume.
15th.
Talking about that already. Huber versus Jones, Animal Crossing NX will be a launch title. The bets whether the results have not been known. Bosman versus Huber. Will Far Cry 5 have a battle royale mode by the end of 2018? Will GTA 5 come to Switch by E3 2018?
Okay, that's I remembered. I was like, I think there's a GTA 5 Switch floating out there, but that's by E3. Okay, because there's no way that's happening.
I'm more confused now than I was before.
Yeah, this is all very confusing.
I'm extremely confused.
You're in every bet, dude.
I know. Man, I'm trying to wrap my head around all this.
Yeah, there's
Gotta
one more
control
bet too.
Because I don't know what the stakes were for all of these. So
Yeah, like Call of Duty outsold Destiny 2. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
So what do I got to do?
Oh, you have to wear the "I just love pasta baby" shirt,
Yeah,
right?
Kyle knows about that one.
Got it. Perfect.
He's making that shirt.
Okay.
Bosman
I've got
Osman
it.
and Ben versus Brandon and Ian. Will Metroid Prime 4 come out in 2018? Brandon versus Kyle. Will the rumored Crash Bandicoot games sell more than the Insane trilogy? So these are the bets that are coming into 2018. Let me know if I'm missing any. I will leave you all with a good betting question. Will the new God of War game have an underworld level?
No.
Is there like an underworld in Greek or in Norse mythology?
Probably.
I'm saying no. I'm saying they've done it in like every God of War game ever, so they're gonna not.
But are
do
you going to
that.
go to Valhalla, Huber?
Yes.
Okay.
Or you will see it. You will see visions.
You'll see it like far away.
yeah. Kratos like it gets all messed up and he like sees it.
Mm-hmm.
Norse mythology
It brings
100%
him
has
back.
underworld, by the way.
It's not gonna happen though, dude. I'm saying no underworld.
I'm saying yes.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
There it is. Damiani versus Hubert.
Yeah, 'cause
What is it, Damiani?
it's HEL. It's hell.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell.
Kate Blanchett rules there.
You're right.
Our next one comes in from Beaten Down Brian. He says, "Hello, everyone. I hope you're doing well. Happy birthday, Ian. It's Ian's birthday, by the way.
Oh yeah,
Let me say happy
that's where
birthday.
Ian is.
Yeah. My first two questions got skipped on last month's Q&A, possibly due to Patreon technical difficulties, so I'm just reposting them below, and maybe you can answer them for those people now." Oh, the first two questions. So he's reposting other people's questions that got skipped because Patreon ate them. Okay, got it. Question one, this comes in from Alex. My question is this: what is the one thing that you discussed at your beginning of the year meeting that you're most excited for now?
Can we say stuff?
Yeah, maybe not. I'm excited for the next retro
Yeah.
that we're gonna do.
I'm excited to work with Damiani on some stuff, possibly.
E3 as always, baby.
E3, baby.
Yeah.
No sleep.
I'm really excited about our meetup this year, our anniversary.
Heck
I
yeah.
think we've got some good stuff coming for that. We talked about it the 1 year.
You already rolled out some of the stuff, the reviews, and the consequential, unexpected consequence of that was the thumbnail rollout.
Mm-hmm.
Got 2 checking out things.
Check it out.
Check it out.
So yeah, and if people aren't aware with that, like it won't be like a regularly scheduled type of thing, but yeah, if there's something that's coming out that we probably won't review or do a don't skip for, yeah, we might just stream it for a couple hours and chop it down and give you a little look at it for 10 to 15 minutes.
Yeah, I'm hoping we do more of those. I wanted to do one for Dynasty Warriors 9, but my audio was all out of sync. And so hopefully the next time I try to do it checking it out, that won't happen. Should be great. The next question that got skipped last month, this was really nice of you to do this, Brian. Thank you. It's from Adam. He says, "Hey, allies, 2017 was a great year for games, but in terms of trends, it will probably be remembered as the year of Battle Royale games bush camping their way to victory and microtransactions sucking ass. Looking at some of the games being released in 2018, what new trends can you see taking off? Will A Way Out see the revival of couch co-op games? Will Jurassic World Evolution boost the strategy management genre? Or will Nintendo Labo finally give us Call of Duty Cardboard Warfare? Are any of you guys tried Drop Mix from Harmonix yet? It's ridiculously good." It's a bonus question. I have not tried that. Drop Mix. I've heard of that.
Battle Royale
It's
is
a card game, man.
just getting started.
Yeah.
Like you thought 2017 was the year of Battle Royale? No. 2018 is the year of Battle Royale.
Yeah, like everything's gonna have it now.
Yep.
I wonder how popular this has become since Overwatch is now using it. Overwatch has a Twitch integration now where you unlock in-game stuff by participating in Twitch, by connecting your Twitch account to Overwatch. So I wonder how many of these like online games, like Overwatch style games, are going to try and do that have like big Twitch communities. So like PUBG or Fortnite. Like, I wonder if that'll become like a trend this year. Just hey, you watch the games on Twitch. You unlock stuff in your game. Like you don't have to play the game.
I can see League doing that for sure in Dota.
Yeah.
Well, I remember like 2 or 3 years ago, the big trend we had of the Twitch commands changing stuff happening in people's games. And I feel like that's gone kind of away. People aren't doing that as much now. So I'm curious whether this one will actually catch on.
Also, I wouldn't be surprised if you see more big publishers doing early access. Like a lot of the people that we're waiting to hear big announcements from. I wonder if when we get that announcement, they'll be like, "Hey, and it's playable right now. Like we're announcing it and releasing it today, but it is still very much in an early state. But if you want to jump in and help us develop, and then that gives them a little bit, more flexibility in how they grow the game, how they can switch to add new modes that their audience likes better than others. Just the Fortnite model, basically."
Are we ready for the next question?
Super ready.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is from Ulf. He says, "Hello, allies. What are your favorite instances of positive reinforcement in games? I personally love a good headshot ding in Uncharted or Overwatch. That's really good. That's a good positive reinforcement."
Oh, the headshots, in the survival mode in Uncharted, the headshots like shing. It's like you get like money and stuff. Feels
Yeah,
like-
the headshots in BioShock Infinite also, as divisive as that game is, it's got some really good feedback.
A couple of days ago, I played through Jet Set Radio, and that game has so many instances of positive reinforcement. Like when you're doing a tag and like you do a successful motion, the little noise that it makes.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you finish it, it goes, dur, 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 dur. Like it just, you want to spray paint everything because it sounds so good.
When I hit a monster in the head with a hammer and it whoosh.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I live for that sound.
Good pick.
Gears of War Active Reload. Classic.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Top tier, bud. Top tier.
Basically anything in Odyssey. Like I'm just watching Amanda play that game. Every time she gets a moon, Mario's like, yeah. He's so excited like, every single time.
Yo, what's to do with this balloon world? Is that a whole new world?
No.
No,
That's
it's
a
a
mini game.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
Have you
It's
tried
like
it,
a way to
Johnny?
challenge each
I
other.
have not had a chance to try it. I have it downloaded and ready to go. And I was like, and I got asked. I was like, yeah, I'll try and make time to do this. I don't think it's going to win, but I stealth told people to suggest it as our group tournament for next Tuesday. I was
So
like,
Huber, do you remember when we did the races with the Koopas?
Yeah.
So it's like that, but like other people set up the finish line.
Oh, that sounds
actually,
so
no,
fun.
it's not entirely like that. It's you have 30. It depends which side you're on. If you're trying to find, you have 30 seconds in any of one of the worlds to find as many balloons as you can.
Oh, okay.
Get like a score based on that. Like, and then if you are the person setting it, it's like how long it takes an average person to find your balloon. And then it gives you like rankings. There's like 2 ranking tiers based on that. Yeah. You can do what Blood said as well, but like you can find multiple ones. Like it just tags your time on
Okay.
each balloon, like how long it took you to get it. But I think it's not over when you just find one. You can find multiple.
Brad, you got any dopamines that come in?
Anytime you land a parry in Souls or Bloodborne games, it makes this weird sound like
Yeah.
like letting you know you successfully did it, and you know you're in for Damage City.
I think particularly with Bloodborne, it feels so good.
Mm-hmm.
Playing it for a little bit on the Switch, the Witch Time clock ticking.
Nice. Yeah, I love that.
Oh, so good.
Cool. All right. Next one comes in from a pack of puppies. With the Olympics currently going on, envision that all of you are participating in the Olympics. Which sports, winter and or summer, are each of you competing in and why? Feel free to pick either a sport you're already familiar with or have no experience in and want to try just for the lulz.
I'm on the hockey team for Winter Olympics.
Nice.
I like that.
What's the cross-country rifle shooting event called?
That sounds awesome.
Jones.
Where it's just
That's what I
like
was thinking.
ski, stop, shoot, ski. That's me. Love it.
You know what? If I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna go all the way. I'm gonna figure skate. That's what I'm gonna do.
Nice,
Go
Ben.
on.
Get out there and do a performance. Let's go.
Ben, let's co-op. We'll
Okay.
do doubles.
Can we what would we do? Would we like pretend that we're on a hunt and like you are figure skating with your hammer?
Yes. We'll do the Monster Hunter theme.
I want to use the monster, and that's the routine.
Yeah. When he's like paper gay.
Dies, you know.
Man, I love figure skating. It's been so good this year.
I can't watch it. A little fun known fact about Jones: cannot watch figure skating.
I'm
What?
scared. People are gonna hurt
Terrified.
themselves.
Terrified. That looks like the scariest thing. That's like watching someone rock climb, like the whole way up. It's just every single like groove. Like, dude, every time they go up in the air, my brain is like, they're dead. They're she's gonna fall over. Her blade's gonna go up in the air. His neck is gonna land on her blade. Like it's just, it just is so terrifying.
They like swing their heads
Oh.
an inch from the ice and
When
stuff.
the guy will throw the woman into the air, it's, terrifying.
The luge is terrifying.
Yeah, it's so intense.
What's the head first one now? I forget what it's called. They have luge now, but head first.
I
Why?
have no idea.
Yeah. Crazy.
Nope.
The ski jumps too is pretty
Damn, buddy.
pretty nuts. These
Yeah.
gigantic jumps that they're just basically flying.
Is that what you
Yeah.
would do?
Sure.
Sure.
This one I think is good for Damiani, Brandon, and Blood. This is from Simon. This is a question for those who would have been around at GT at this time. As the 100 episode of the Easy Allies podcast is about to hit, I keep thinking about Invisible Walls episode 200 wrap. Just want to know why, who, and what happened with that. Mainly just the why.
Oh,
That was all
That was-
Shane.
That was all Shane. Yeah, and Shane has a extensive musical career. Like Shane was and I believe still is a DJ. Like I think it's not something he like forgot how to do. I think
Right.
Shane can still do that. And I think Shane has always had a love for hip hop and dubstep and house music. I know Shane's a big house fan, and so I think that might have just been something he always wanted to challenge himself to do, or just something that creatively he wanted to have as an outlet. But I was as far removed from that as you could possibly be.
Well, I was not actually involved at all, so
were you not even
I was
involved in the
somewhere.
clapping part at the very end? Like there was a group shot of everyone like just like clapping.
maybe.
Was that 100 or I'm trying to remember? Like I don't know if that was in the Rapper episode 100. Now I'm forgetting, but I know the only thing I was involved in. I thought like everyone who was there at the time, there's a shot of us clapping, and then there was one weird montage. I think of everyone trying to run away from something in one of the two episodes, like 100 or 200, and that was it. Like I don't remember if it was part of the rap music video or if it was just the weirdness of 100 was live, so it couldn't have been that. Had to have been the rap video then. Yeah.
I'm getting mixed up. I don't remember which 100 and which one was 100.
So episode 100 was completely live. It was a live stream with a bunch of like
That wasn't 200? It wasn't the other way around?
I thought 200 was the rap. That was the more recent one, I thought. Right? I mean, you can just look it up, but
I thought we'd done the rap before the live stream, but I don't remember.
I don't know if we could do live when we had 100 episodes.
Here, I had the promo. What was it? Okay, so you're right, Blood. Yeah, 100 was the rap, 200 was live. You got it. Yep. So, yeah, the rap one was weird. I think it was mostly it was Shane, Marcus, and Ryan Stevens got dragged into it too, because he had a part in there. That was funny.
Watching that now, if you haven't seen the Invisible Walls 200 rap, like it's worth going and revisiting. because some of those lines, man, they will never leave you. Particularly with the Marcus Beer section. Pretty funny stuff. And what was cool is nobody took it too seriously, which was nice. It didn't seem that way. I couldn't tell if Ryan was having a good time or a bad time. I'll have to ask him. It was very unclear in the moment, but. Our next question comes in from Bino. He says, I'm sure you've all told your respective stories here and there, but when and why did you decide to get into the video game journalism industry, or whatever it is you like to call what you do? And how did you go about it?
When I was in high school, I used to read every gaming magazine.
Can confirm.
And that's just what I wanted to do. I originally wanted to write for a magazine. And from then on, I was like, all right, I'll just go to college, do journalism. And it was just like one step after another.
Made it work.
Mm-hmm. I originally applied for internship at PC Gamer.
Oh, nice.
But didn't get it.
I think me, it was sort of similar, Huber. Like, I wanted to, like, growing up, I wanted to the dream was to, like, either work at Nintendo Power or EGM. And then later, a little later, like, IGN came along. I mean, they were around before, but, like, I didn't really see them till later. And, yeah, I, like, applied to, like, all those places. And it was funny because all of them have like a first initial process where they just like confirm like you're a human being or whatever. Like this doesn't mean anything; just confirms where you got your thing and like you it's a legit application. But I get so excited by just getting that email. I'm like, oh man, like one step closer. And then you never hear back. I was like, oh.
I didn't think that like I could write about video games, that like it just wasn't realistic, and it's not realistic. And so I tried to do like a bunch of other things in college that ended up being terrible. Turns out I hate programming and never want to program anything ever. And like lived through a year of trying to do that in college. But then after like being frustrated, I just decided to go for it. And I did some freelance stuff. And it's funny and really makes you think. I saw on Twitter that like they were hiring interns for GT, and I had sent a bunch of stuff to a bunch of places and heard nothing back. And so by the time I got rolled around to this GT internship thing, I was just like, I'll just send an email. I won't put much thought or care into it, and whatever. I'm sure nothing will come of it. And that ended up being the thing that I got a response to. And they're like, yeah, why don't you fly down to Santa Monica? And I was like, did you even read that email? It was garbage, but just goes to show you never know when it's going to happen.
Yeah.
It was an unpaid internship, though, and that was don't do that.
Dude,
that's
you
can't
I was
anymore, I think.
I was unpaid at
You can,
G4.
but yeah. Viacom stopped doing them.
I was unpaid at G4 and Game Trailers. So for a year, I was working 7 days a week, 4 at a restaurant, and 3 unpaid internships.
Where were you living at the time?
Home.
Okay. Because, see, I had to – a year is a lot longer than I had to do it. I did it for 3 months, but I had to, like, get a place to live and while also not being paid. And, yeah.
Yeah.
It ended up working out in the end, but it was a pinch.
Yeah.
I wish I could have met you during the internship here, but that would have been awesome. Hearing you talk about G4 seems like a pretty jolly place.
It was, dude. Like it was unfortunate because it was going out of business. Like a couple weeks in, they were like, "Yo, this is the last. Like, I call it a semester, basically. Like, yo, this is the last semester we're going out of business." So everyone there was kind of like 1 foot out the door, but it also had this added benefit of like no stress, where everyone was just kind of doing their best and having fun and not worrying about it. So,
what was it like working on a TV show about video games? Because that's a weird thing now.
Yeah, it was weird. I'll never forget Blair Herter, man. Nicest guy I ever met. Just gave me so much encouragement to just keep going and like chasing my dream, you know? He was just such a good guy.
Mm-hmm. Many people know I was a hairstylist for 3 years before I got into video games. I think it was around E3 So in hair salons, there's always like a back area where everyone kind of hangs out in between clients. And I think I was watching E3 on my phone. I was like freaking out about stuff. And I was like, dude, check this out, to like a bunch of the girls in the back. And they're just like, we don't care. It's like, dude, I'm like, this sucks, man. I was like, man, I want to talk to you about video games. Then it just kind of like hit me one day. I was like, why am I not working in video games? That's what I really want to do. So I just really went for it. I bugged Huber, I think, every day to ask Jones.
Go check the guidelines.
Check the guidelines, yeah. Yeah, just bugging Huber nonstop.
Jones, yeah.
But then Jones came through, man, got those guidelines, and we did it.
Gotta check the guidelines.
Yeah, my story is the most natural, borderline unintentional thing ever. Because I mean, I already wrote a lot as a kid and was reading a lot as a kid, and and like Hubert was like just absorbed in Nintendo powers, and so when I had a chance to like write in the school newspaper, I started doing that a little bit, and then I saw that in high school, I saw that the local paper had like a student thing, and so I called them up and started writing in the local paper. And then a couple years later, just like some of the websites that I was visiting started helping out in the forums and stuff. And then like they liked the stuff I was writing in the forums, that they asked me to come and help out on the site. And so, yeah, that was Planet GameCube / Nintendo World Report. And I did that for 5 years. And then a friend of mine that I worked helping out on short films with at church just emailed me one day and asked if I wanted a job at G4. And I'm like, yeah, I'll do that. Did that for 2 months. And then that's when it like actually became an intentional thing, because like after I'd worked at G4, I was like, okay, I got to keep this going. And was, looking for other jobs, and saw Shane post about GT on Craigslist and went in for that. And there you go.
Craigslist?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I had a really bad experience on Craigslist that has like scared me from ever doing it again.
That's a story.
Yeah, that's a story. It's a story for another time. But Hudson has a question for us. He says, hey, allies, I'm sure this kind of question has been asked before, but I'm coming up empty this week. If you had to pick one video game world to be transported to and live in permanently, where would you pick and why? Super Monkey Ball.
Why?
Because I too want to roll around with II and friends and crazy levels where everybody's. No, I don't know. You know what? Space Channel 5, because I just want to like walk with the way that they do, the slow like stop forward in perfect rhythm. That's what I want.
Going to the bathroom at 2 a.m. It's like,
yeah. You get up to go to the bathroom and it plays the music. Da-na-na. Yeah, that's what I want. Jones nailed it.
I want to live on the Citadel in Mass Effect, but I want to die before the events of Mass Effect happen.
Well,
so pre all the craziness going down, let's just hang out there.
would you warn other people? Would you be like that crazy loon, like, you're all gonna die next week? Like, what? Quiet, Bloodworth.
Like, I don't trust these things working on the computers, going into the weird ducts.
Dragon Quest, because I want to be friends with monsters.
Nice.
Huber, I'll be your neighbor, dude.
Heck yeah. We'll run a weapon shop and an armor shop.
There we go. Boom. You sell the weapons, I'll sell the armor.
Done.
Hubert, will you don the like weapon shop look? Will you have the helmet on and you'll be shirtless? And
yes, the like suspender strap.
Yes. Oh man, it's such a perfect fit for you.
And my Hackzilla is security. Security.
He like freaks people out, but is very friendly when they come in and like super well mannered. Yeah.
Yeah.
Damiani?
I thought pleasantly of this type of question in the past until I saw Black Mirror episode 1 of season 4. And when you say transported to and live in another video game world permanently, I'm like, it sounds great. But like all the stuff that you don't realize when you're in like a fake world, like it's like, yeah, is this world going to exist in perpetuity? Or is like, am I living in someone's world where they're playing the game and stuff? And it's like,
how about the real world just becomes the game? So you're not in a program, like it's just for all intents and purposes real life.
Imagine like if people still like thought the way they do now, like they like logically, like let's say it was like the Mushroom Kingdom, but like the concept of like life there is like you have 1-ups. That's your lives. So it'd be like this giant like struggle, like would humans go to war of each other for like 1-up mushrooms and stuff?
The quest for eternal life
resource. It's funny to like think of all this stuff. Like it's like this would be fine. It's like, but would it really be fine?
Yeah, it'd be fine.
Yeah. Let's hope it's fine. Yeah, I feel like some like a sci-fi world would be cool, but then I don't know. Like
I don't know, man. I'm gonna be talking to jellyfish, so
yeah.
Pretty cool.
Jellyfish. That's pretty cool.
Pick Azeroth Jones.
Elcor? I'd hang out with an Elcor.
No.
Oh, so like that's like it's like too dangerous because then like people like
Terrible.
like giant monsters and stuff, they'll just come wreck you in like 1 second. It's like, oh, that's jolly. Need like what is like the safest, like nicest video game? Like what's the most casual video game in existence? That's like nice. That would probably be it. Yeah.
Oh, yes, it is.
Like
Snipper
Kirby game or something, or a Yoshi World game.
Yoshi game.
Yeah.
That's the Mario World, though, isn't it?
Yoshi's Woolly World. Everything's wool.
Jones, did you say one?
Animal Crossing.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
That one, yeah, it's definitely. Until you meet Tom Nook.
But here's the thing, like, you kind of get that sense of being in debt in Animal Crossing, but you actually get to pay your debt off, and then you're free and clear.
He gives you the tools and the opportunities to pay it off.
There's also no deadline, which is a huge deal.
Yeah.
It's not like make it back by this day. He's like, just whenever you get a chance.
Yeah, Tom Nook's, he gets a bad rap. He's pretty
actually
lenient.
the good guy?
He's pretty lenient.
If I could get money bags just by going around shaking trees every day.
Right? Hitting rocks with a shovel?
Please record a video of you shaking a tree and a bag of bells falling out.
Okay, someone convinced you. Like Pokemon would be fine.
Yeah,
That'd be a
Pokemon's
good
a
one. Yeah.
Pokemon's a good answer.
Like cute creatures with you at all times. I'll do that.
Simple one from Raymond: burgers or burritos?
That's not a simple one.
Yeah.
Complicated.
That's a
complicated
loaded
one.
question.
Complicated one from Raymond. Yeah, I know. I first I was thinking burritos, but there are some damn fun burgers that I've had.
I've never had a burrito as tasty as the tastiest burger I've ever had. No question.
That's probably true. On average, I probably like burritos more than burgers. But
There's inevitably a moment with a burrito where I'm like, I'm ready to be done with this. Like I'm finished. I don't need this extra.
When you get to the bottom, it's not enjoyable anymore. Okay.
That last burger.
There's like a few specific burrito places I can think of that I really like, but there's so many burger places.
For sure.
And yeah.
I'm going to say burrito.
All right.
I think burrito because I can have a burrito any day, anytime, but I can't have a burger any day, anytime.
That's who.
Well,
you can get a burger with an egg on it.
Yeah.
That's right.
Wait, you've had a burger? Did you say you've had a burger every day before?
No,
egg.
With an egg on it.
Oh, burger with an egg is one of my favorite things.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, burger with an egg.
Breakfast burritos, though.
Okay.
Burritos are made.
I wonder, I don't think they ever had it out here, but there's a restaurant, I think it's still around, called Tin Star, which takes Mexican food like burritos and tacos and burgers. And you just use the burrito, the tortilla, as the bun. So you can either get like burger tacos, like they cut the patty in half and put it into 2 tacos, and they'll put like all the toppings, or they take like the burger and cut it up into like slices and put it in the burrito. So if you want the best of both worlds, sort of there. If you know,
not feeling it.
I didn't like it. I was like, I only had it as a kid. I was
Shut down.
yeah, no, not good.
Yeah. I'm going burgers, dude. Burger time.
Yeah, some of the best, burgers. Sorry, burritos. It's hard.
Yeah, I love you burritos though. Still.
I think I'm gonna go burger. It's tough though. What would you take pizza over both?
No.
I'd probably take pizza over both. So I guess it's just me. Professor Metal Gear asks, name a city or an area in California that you've never been to but would love to go to in the future. The Redwood National Park.
Yeah.
Pictures. I've never been there, and I really, really, really want to go.
Super fun. Where'd you just go, Bud?
Nice. Big Sur.
Yeah, I've never been there.
Me, Tahoe. I haven't been. Not been to Tahoe
Good.
area
That's a
at
good
all.
pick.
Yeah.
Mammoth.
Mhm.
Checking a map, Ben?
Yeah.
What's that?
Are you checking a map?
I'm not checking them out.
Yeah, basically the sort of pseudo plan right now. Like we're like every year around our anniversary, we're just working our way up the coast right now.
Nice.
So like next year, we'll probably hit a couple of spots that we didn't get to around the area we were, and then start moving closer towards San Francisco. And then, eventually we'll get north of San Francisco into the Redwoods.
Has anyone been to Sacramento?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Is it cool?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
It's like the city is like any other. It feels like a Midwest city.
Oh, okay.
Like,
Yeah, it does.
yeah. And the area is very it's very flat. You just see the mountains in the very far distance. So it's like it feels like the Midwest up there.
Just any national forest I have not been to. I'm looking at them now. Yeah.
Oh yeah, there was another place there called Pinnacles, which looked really cool.
El Dorado, Mendocino.
When was the last time you guys went camping? It's been forever since I've been camping.
Years, yeah.
Yeah, actual camping. It's been a long time. I just recently did a camp in like a cabin, but up in the mountains.
All the time.
Live stream camping coming to you.
Yeah.
This defeats the purpose.
It's easy living, baby. We're streaming camping.
A little dodgy when you're camping, but yeah.
That was actually one of the challenges when we were planning this last trip. Is like a lot of the places in the Big Sur area that are like proud of the fact that they don't have TVs or telephone or mobile phone service. I'm like, I want a little bit of access just so I can plan where I want to go the next day.
Sure.
Find food and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, man, going camping for like a week and not having your phone sounds awesome.
Yeah.
I need to make time for that at some point in my life. Next one comes in from Liz. She says, when is Gunpla? Edited to add, I know Jones is all about reading Patreon comments, but what about the rest of the group, especially with the podcast comments? Do you read YouTube comments or just the ones on Patreon?
I read too many comments.
Same.
I basically read practically all of the YouTube comments.
Wow.
Damn.
I just have that, like one of my tabs is just the whole feed of comments.
Oh, no,
except for like replies, like there's not a good way to track replies. So like a lot of the mess ends up happening in replies, and it's like days later, and I just don't see it because it's filtered by the new original comments.
I'm up and down on comments. Sometimes I read every comment. Sometimes I distance myself.
Sure.
So it just depends.
I would say I pretty much take the same approach. I go in waves with it.
Yeah, usually when I get a couple like really mean-spirited ones, I will go back into hibernation for like a month and then poke my head out.
I think because I'm so tuned into Cup of Jones that like it's tuned me out of almost everything else. That it's just like if anybody really needs to get to me, that's giving us that's a paying customer of Easy Allies, they can get to me. contact me, not get to me.
Come to me. As far as Gunpla goes, I'm really hesitant to speak on it because I know Kyle's been focusing really heavy on Box Peak and trying to get that done, and has switched around his schedule as a result. And so I'm not saying that that's the reason, but we don't have a scheduled date for Gunpla at the moment.
We just kind of do it whenever we have time to, usually.
Yeah.
Well, it had been pretty consistent, like last Thursday of the month for a while.
Yeah.
Friday.
But yeah.
But as far as Gunpla, like Gunpla isn't dead or gone or anything.
No.
It'll be back again. All right. Next one is from Kyle. He says, hello, as over the last year, I've been enjoying a wide range of games, doing my best to sample what I missed when I didn't have a PS4, along with some new titles that jump out to me. Over that time, I kept going back to Injustice 2, thanks to the consistent release schedule of interesting and fun DLC characters. With the release of the final characters in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, it got me thinking, what is something that will get you to come back to a game months or years after its release? Is it a new character, new story, new environments, or something else entirely?
New characters are always good.
Yeah, new characters, new story, obviously.
Yeah, DLC or whatever.
New modes.
When you call something an expansion, and you're like, here's this big thing for this game that you used to love, that always gets me.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
More than like a singular update when it's all bundled together and it's like, hey, we're completely transforming this.
Yep.
That tends to get me on the hook.
Battlefield 1 just came out with like Apocalypse DLC or something, and I reinstalled it the other day. I really want to just like dive in for a couple rounds.
Yeah.
Just check it out. It's been so long. Same with For Honor. That's been something that's been itching at the back of my brain for a while. They've added new characters and dedicated servers, I think, are coming in March.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Which is like, I remember when I reviewed the game and when it launched, that was the biggest problem, is that they didn't have dedicated servers. So that is something that could get me back in there.
Yeah, I'm definitely in the big chunky expansion bucket as well.
Chunky.
Fallout 3, I was in for every one of those expansions, which is free.
It's so different though, because like games as a service now, like I look at something like The Witcher, and it's like you have the game and a couple story DLCs, but then something, say like Fortnite, which I might dabble in now for the next 2 years, because they keep adding new and fun ways to play. Like they had that 50 versus 50. That's something like that I would hop into to check out. Just like weird, fun modes that are for a limited time.
Mm-hmm.
Limited for sure.
I've never been like super into that, but at this point in time, I am. Same with Monster Hunter. Those Monster Hunter events. Every time there's an event, I'm just like, whoa, what's the event this week? Like, I want to check that out.
Actually, having a good content roadmap, if you're going to do something as a games as a service, I feel like the ones that do better, the ones that like very well, like easily communicate to their audience that here's what's coming in the next few months, what you can expect, versus them, hey, we're going to continue to support this game. Stay tuned for details every few months. Like, all right, here's our first one. It's finally coming out. You leave people like hanging, and they're like, they just like something's coming. Just don't know what. So I feel like it's the best. Even if it's like a small, like, hey, we're just doing a Valentine's Day event. It's coming in like in February. Hey, we're gonna do like a St. Patrick's Day event. Like just as small as that. Like it just helps so much. People have stuff to like look forward to constantly. I feel like
isn't 14 good about that?
They're
pretty good. Like 14. I mean, that's an MMO, but like I'm more specifically talking about games that you traditionally would be single player games or like with like a multiplayer online component back in the day, and they want to like, no, we want you to play this for like the next year or whatever. So we're starting to add more stuff to it over time, and I think those games are still, a lot of them rely too much on, we're just going to promise you stuff. Here's gonna like, we'll have like 15. Here comes some DLC episodes. They'll come over the next year, and it's like you'd have to wait months for the announcement of like the release date of one. It's like not so great. They had other stuff, but something that's like, we're going to tell you all the events that are happening and stuff that are coming in the next like 3 months, and every 3 months here's like the next 3 months. Like those will do much better. I'm curious though if anyone's played like a game that is not like an MMO level caliber game in terms of like the amount of constant content it gets, and played it for like more than a year. Like I feel like sometimes I wonder if people just like, because even this 14, even I get tired of it and want to go play other games. Like the creators even know you're not going to play this every day. Like people, we don't even want you to play this every like day. Like we don't want you to get burnt out. I'm kind of curious if other games take that approach where they just know you're not going to be playing that game all the time. And do they have like the foresight to like work around that? Like, here's something to bring you back for a week next month. We don't expect you to play for the whole month, but the following month we're gonna have another thing that's gonna bring. Like, I think it's consistency and frequency, and not having the expectation of bring everyone back for like to play every single day. Like that seems way unrealistic.
That's what Destiny like openly talked about. They're like, hey, we know that you're not going to stick with this forever. We just want you to feel like this is something you could do and then check back in with.
Man, I miss Destiny 2. What happened?
I think, yeah, I mean, I'm definitely not one for a lot of the small incremental updates. They don't get my attention as much as, you know, like Forza Horizon 3, they did the big Hot Wheels thing and that got my attention. But like a lot of the other like small car packs and stuff, like okay, that's cool. But like one problem, maybe it's more of a problem with driving games than other types of games, but like if you're doing like a lot of those small updates, like you've got to find a way to like make that server side or like easily bundled, because sometimes when I go to like check in on a game, it's like, oh, I've got to download like 20 to 25 individual little things that have been added since the last time I played it. And that's just like a huge pain in the butt to get back to the game.
Speaking of like little updates, I don't know if you guys feel this way. Maybe Huber and Jones can speak to this, but games where you get rewards for logging in daily, like when I'm in the thick of it and I'm obsessed with it, it's really nice. Like, oh, hey, here's this ritual. I'm going to log in, get my little bonus. Even if I don't play for all that long, at least I got my little thing. But when I slip away from those games, those login bonuses, I feel like keep me away, because it's like, oh man, I missed the login bonuses for 3 or 5 or however many days. And like it demotivates me. And I already feel like I'm defeated knowing that I missed out on stuff. I don't know. Maybe that's just me being weird.
Like, I get that totally. But I know I keep going back to Fortnite right now because I'm so obsessed with it. But there's something about seasons that are so nice, Ben, because it like you have that login bonus of kind of like get a quest when you log in. But if you pull away from it a while, you don't feel like you're missing anything because you can go back to it and you still have your season rank that you can kind of just chip away at. And it's just a good way to keep things fresh. Like, I think I'm so into Fortnite right now because they just the other day started a brand new season. So it kind of felt like a fresh restart for everybody. And I think having those natural breaks is really nice and really inviting to players that are not devoting their entire life to a single game. Sure. Destiny 2 is this like never-ending beast of content, it feels like. Well, that kind of Destiny's weird, but like, you know what I mean? There's no like natural break kind of like in Destiny. I don't really feel that natural break. Obviously, they have like the big expansion releases, but I think having like set seasons every month and a half or 2 months is a really cool way to like bring people back. And yeah,
that's a good length for a season. I feel like,
yeah,
when I used to do like Arena and WoW, seasons could go on for like
3.5 months.
Yeah, or 5 months and just get real burnt out.
Yeah. So it's cool that you like can come in a new season and get new rewards and kind of have a fresh start. Really like that.
Yeah, I'm definitely no stranger to the daily rewards just from all the mobile games that I play. I like when we started the Q&A, I like just got my daily reward from Galaxy of Heroes. But sadly, this is not like a hot tip for young indie developers, because obviously this is like a super huge price tag. But yeah, the licensed characters or licensed anything like DeLorean's coming to GTA Online was tough to say no to. And Predator coming to Ghost Recon Wildlands, I think it was like the last.
What?
Yes,
He's coming to.
it's in.
Yeah.
It's out. It's gone.
Oh
Actually,
my God!
You missed it.
What?
Gone. It was only for a limited time. There were predator missions where like you
Oh
and
my
3 other people
God.
could go into the jungle against the predator.
Were they cool?
They were. I never did them. I downloaded it
Oh.
because somebody messaged me and they were like, "You got to get them now." So I don't know if like there was a limited window to download it or if there was a limited window to play it as well. But that's the last example I can think of a game I definitely put on the shelf and was like, "Oof, okay, I will log into that game, update it, just to download that Predator thing." And I think that's great. I think it's always fun if you're going to have an online game, if you're going to have something where you want people to come back. Just your last update should be your weirdest. Just, before you wrap everything up, just have that one that like, maybe doesn't go so far as like as game breaking, but it's certainly weird or just add something very unusual to the game. I think it's kind of fun for a community to come back in one last time, goof around. And say
Resident Evil 7 and Evil Within. Great examples of that, Jones.
Yeah.
Just having some weird DLC at the end to kind of cap it all off.
Dude, Final Fantasy 15 had Assassin's Creed in it. That was weird. I did that. It was super weird.
15's got a Half-Life thing.
Yeah,
coming.
yeah, the Gordon.
Yeah,
Gordon
yeah.
Freeman with the
The
crowbar.
closest you'll ever get to Half-Life 3.
13-2 had the Mass Effect outfits.
Yeah.
Also had the Assassin's Creed there. It's like some weird crossover stuff there.
Do you remember Soul Calibur 5 had Ezio in it? That was weird.
Remember Soul Calibur 5 period? Sorry. I thought Soul Calibur 5 was bad.
Clearly. Jeez.
Damn.
Brad and Huber, I really like this one. This is for you guys specifically. This is from Tuttle. He says, due to Huber's propensity for sudden movement and excitability at the drop of a syllable, has this ever caused Brad to botch Huber's haircut? Saying sit still seems futile. Perhaps it's done in silence to prevent another incident.
I say that to Huber all the time. All the time.
Don't move.
Don't move. Stop
Don't move.
moving. Stop moving. Yeah, sometimes I have had to like adjust something because he won't stop moving or something like that. So yes, I've gotten pretty good at anticipating Huber movements though. Especially it depends what he's talking about.
I can just see you cutting his hair and knowing when
Yeah.
it happened. It's pretty good. Tuttle also says Don is good. So there's that. That's good. Matt asks, my question is primarily for the allies who are non-native Angelinos. After spending the last 10 years of my life working in New York City and most of the prior 26 years living in the greater New York metro area, it looks like I'm finally going to make the big move from New York City to Los Angeles this summer. Congratulations, it's a big move. So I was curious what it was like for you guys when you made the cross-country move. What brought you to LA in the first place? What was the experience of the move itself like? Was there anything about the process that was notably harder or easier than you anticipated? I'll go. It was terrible. Everything about it was terrible. I moved out here for work and like trying to find a like extremely cheap place and not being able to go and visit the place before you come out to here. Like I ended up living like in a house. I've told this story before, but I ended up living in a house with like 8 other guys. I shared a room with a guy and like people were breaking into the house. People were like snorting drugs on the washer and dryer. Like the sink was always like overflowing with like dishes and like flies were buzzing about it.
Sounds like an episode of Fiasco.
Yeah, exactly. It was just a terrible episode of Fiasco. It didn't last that long. It was a few months I did this, probably 3 or 4 months I did it. I moved out in August and I think I got out of there like end of October. And luckily like Damiani was nice enough to let me stay at his place. And that was way better and I wasn't going to die. So huge thanks to Damiani for that.
Jeez.
I got to use the carpool lane.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
I was like, oh my God, the dream has come true. Then you find out, then the dream came to a crashing halt when it's like, the carpool lane doesn't even matter out here. It's also always backed up. I was like, I moved here so long ago. The one thing I remember about the two, there's several things. The most annoying thing I remember was I did not come out here with my car originally, because I didn't come out here for a specific job. I came out here to try and find a job. I had some interviews lined up, and I was staying in Anaheim, and I was staying at a stay away place. They had saved up money to stay at for a few weeks, and I had a rental car. But when I finally ended up finding long story short, when I found a place I needed to work, it's like, wow, I need my car back. And I was like, huh. So I was like looking at I thought I was like, do I have to really buy a plane ticket, fly back, and then drive out here? I was like, I don't want to do that. So we worked with my parents and found a way to have a ship my car, one of those the trucks that can carry your car to wherever you need to go. But it was a logistical nightmare apparently. There are all these rules and regulations. Apparently people like to ship their car to another city and try and pack it with a bunch of stuff, which my parents thought they could do. Oh, we'll put all your clothes in here and stuff for you. It'd be really easy. We'll just throw them in there. And then all the services, you can't actually do that because we get weighed at the weighing station, and cars have to be there's only a certain allotment for weight. Anyway, they were you can't do that actually. So I was like, oh crap. So, and then they have to go to other locations first. And the person in my car straight up would say, oh, I'm gonna be here tomorrow. They're actually, I went up to NorCal today. I was like, so I didn't get my car for a while, and it ended up costing a lot of money. I was like, would have been way cheaper, even though I would have had to have driven cross country. It would have been way cheaper just to have done it, because I could have packed stuff and everything. So yeah, that part was really stressful and annoying, because I was because with the rental car, at least at the time, it was nice. They just you could keep it out as long as you want. They just keep charging you. I thought the reservation literally meant for a rental car, because it was the first time I ever did it, that you only get the car for those days and you have to bring it back, like a hotel reservation. You got to get out of the hotel. So that was really stressful. But then everything worked out. I was like, all right, not the worst thing.
Yeah, for me, this might sound kind of cheesy to some people, but for me, it was a total act of faith. And in that sense, I do not recommend anyone copy what I did. Is I really felt that God wanted me to be in LA and to work with other artists and such. And I didn't know anything beyond that. And I was in Texas at the time, and my mom paid for a bus ticket, and I hopped on a bus, and there was a friend that I knew who was from Whittier, and she knew a family that let me stay with them. And I was on their couch for 6 weeks, trying to figure out exactly what the next step was looking into going to school, and none of the scholarship stuff I'd looked into had panned out, and then realized that this isn't going to work. The amount of loans and stuff is going to be way too much. And then started looking for jobs, and a lot of jobs. I realized afterwards that I had gotten the phone number where I was staying mixed up, so they couldn't even call me back. And then right as the people I was staying with were about to kick me out, I met up with some other people, and then hopped to a couple other couches. And then finally, the third place I was at, the guy was like, okay, this is how you use the buses in LA. This is where you can get a temp job, etc. And then I took a bus downtown, got an interview with a temp agency, and then they literally called me back before I had gotten home with a job that I ended up working at the next 6 years. And then once I had an income, I was able to get some proper roommates and stuff like that.
Crazy.
Good job, Lynn.
The very first time I drove in California was probably one of the most terrifying experiences of my life. You guys probably don't think it's a big deal, but renting a car and getting out on the interstate, I don't know. I thought I was going to die. It's lost all of its shock now, but
yeah.
Our next question comes in from DRD 7 of 14. He says, "Hey allies, this one may take some thought, but it's a simple question otherwise. What is a quote either from a movie or game that you use the most, whether it comes upon coincidence or you just roll with it, finishing the quote or call out the movie/game, whatever comes to you? Just a fun little question."
Speaking of driving, I always quote Homer from Simpsons Hit and Run. I'm not a very good driver. I quote that a lot. And I think, what's that episode is that from? Nope, that's from a Simpsons video game. It might be from an episode. They might have took it from the episode and put it in the game.
Did you say you're quoting it at people while you're driving?
I quote, yeah, just whenever I might say it out loud. Just somebody honks at me. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. Very good driver.
Pretty good.
For some reason, I don't say it out loud, but for some reason, the Star Fox 64 quote is stuck in my head. It was like, it's time for us to go now. Like, I don't know why.
I'll also say good luck a lot.
Yeah, that's actually one that I do. Oh, yep. The Star Fox good luck.
And the good old Goblin Warcraft, hi. I'll say that a lot.
Sometimes when I kill a monster in Monster Hunter, I'll hear Geralt in my head, killing monsters.
We used to do a lot of RE4 quotes here, I remember.
Yep.
1998.
1998. No thanks, bro. Is one of the all-time best.
Sometimes when I'm facing something really intense in a video game, I will say, what do we say to the god of death? Not today. I do that sometimes.
Another classic, Ben? Do you dream of death?
Do you dream of death? Yeah.
That's a classic, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, we don't do the do you
Well,
dream
you
of
had
death
it,
as much
that
anymore.
Gotham quote that went around for a while.
You look far from home.
You look far from home.
It's so random of anything to get quoted.
So this Lightning Returns, do you dream of death quote? There was a day at Game Trailers where we were like looking up
The audio clip.
the audio clip on YouTube, and we found this video of just like all of the quips that Lightning says. And we were
Yeah.
we were scrubbing through the video to specifically find "Do you dream of death?" Oh man, better times. Hi Ian, happy birthday, man!
Hey.
Happy birthday.
Sorry I'm late.
No, it's okay. It's your birthday.
It's your birthday.
It's my birthday. I don't know what time it is. I say
Ian, go ahead.
I say I'm interested in this. I like that one.
Oh, yeah.
I'm interested in this.
Alucard.
Yeah. Or the other day we were doing I am overburdened over and over again a lot from Diablo 2 or whatever.
When I think of Symphony, I think of the thank you.
Yeah, the shop guy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Beatles, thank you.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah, I do that a lot.
Resident Evil 4 just has all the best ones. I think of
What are you buying?
I think of the what are you buying? And I'll buy it at a high price.
Yeah, what are you selling?
So good.
One that
Strange, yeah.
also hung over the GT offices for a while is if you could change your fate.
Oh,
Would you?
that's from the trailer for Brave.
Yeah, and it just got
It's not
more
even in the movie. It's just in the ad.
ridiculous each time we did it.
I don't even remember.
Well, yeah, we would change the like if you could change your RNG. I don't know. Just
Yeah, we're doing
shit.
the Pirates of the Caribbean one too.
Oh yeah.
You're in one a lot.
There are like a ton of quotes that I say all the time that I can't think of. But anyway, whatever. Hubert like comes at people aggressively with movie
Yep.
quotes.
Yeah.
And never able to get him. But next one comes in from Carl. Will Roger Deakins finally win the Oscar for Best Cinematography for Blade Runner 2049?
Yes.
No.
Dude, no, because people think like that, Jones. Yes, he will. Yes, he will.
Has anybody? Well, I want to ask this.
Never
Actually, I'm
just-
curious about this runaway like campaign to get him. Has anybody asked him if he wants to win? I mean, obviously, like you'd assume people would want to win, but like, did this come from him ever complaining about it? Because I think it's pretty badass to be nominated that many times and not win. And so my take is I would like him not to win just to do that for the rest of his career. Like I want him to just get nominated 500 times And then after he's long gone, have the Oscars be like, oh, wait a minute. Like, do they know? Like, is that something that I never want somebody to win an award because they were like pressured to. And there's been a lot of Oscars that way where it's like, Scorsese finally won for what? What, Departed?
Yeah.
You're nowhere near his best movie, not even close. And so when he finally won, it was like, it's like, oh, okay. I wish you'd won for all the other things that you should.
Mean Streets.
Yeah. So yeah, there's that. It's just kind of like, oh, let's give it to him because we got a gun to our head. I'd rather.
I'm not really into pity awards like that.
But I really think Blade Runner.
Oh, it's amazing.
Cinematography by a mile. So I really think he's gonna win.
It was interesting to see. Have you seen Mute? Just popped up on Netflix.
I heard
it's not great.
It's not great, but it was interesting seeing they have similar tiny flying cars going through big cities like Blade Runner did. And yeah, when you compare the impact of those visuals to the impact from Blade Runner, it's night and day.
I keep losing steam on Altered Carbon too.
Yeah. That had very similar visuals for a little bit.
Yeah.
I think I tell everyone, I feel like the last half of that, the first season or first game more, like it just kind of falls apart.
Well, then
I thought you were talking about Steam, the platform. I don't know. Altered Carbon sounds like a game you would play on Steam.
Yeah, it does.
Early
like
access.
a VR game. Did you play that VR game? Altered Carbon?
Cyberpunk shooter.
Next question comes in from Tony. He says, I've always wondered about your educational background as well as why some of you moved to Los Angeles. So where did you all go to school and why did you choose that place? What did you go for? How did you end up in California?
Born and raised, went to Emerson College in Boston. My brother went to BU, and so he introduced me to Emerson. And I was attracted to Emerson because I was an acting major, or I wanted to be an acting major. Switched over to film while I was at Emerson, but I went in for theater. And a lot of the other theater departments that I auditioned for were like, you're here to do theater. That is all you will do ever. And Emerson was like, hey, if you want to make movies, if you want to get into animation, if you want to get into coding or whatever, like, we're a communications school, so we encourage our departments to work together. And like all the other schools were like, the other departments can suck it. It's theater or nothing. And I was like, whoa, all right.
Wow.
I mean, like if I was really into theater, like that was a very hardcore, department to be in at BU or SC or NYU, other places. But Emerson was just a lot more freedom there. And no regrets. And then moved home.
Born and raised in California. School was really, really hard for me. So I went to community college after high school. Then I really liked San Francisco. So I applied to SF State and went there to study journalism.
I already did the story of how I got here, but educational was always in advanced courses all the way through school. Did a lot of college courses in high school, or at least college level courses, AP courses and stuff. I even did some weird thing in junior high that, like, I don't know, people made a big deal about, and like even did a newspaper article about me where like I took the SATs or something, or PSATs in junior high. So as always, like I always thought I was going to do the 4-year track, and then it just, the life didn't happen that way. I did a bit of time at Santa Monica College. I took some English courses and some Japanese courses. And then from there, I was just, schedules didn't work out. I was working more, and that was pretty much the end of the educational track, but I got what I needed.
Cool. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say I went to college at DePaul University in Chicago. I started in the theater conservatory, kind of like Jones, which was a acting program. I got in, had to audition. They only accepted like 50 people in the nation or whatever. It was pretty cutthroat. At the time I went there, it was like the third best theater program in the country, I guess. They had a cut program. I made it through the first cut, and then they cut me after my second year. I think mostly because I didn't schmooze. But my acting teacher said he didn't think I should have been cut, and I was just like, I wasn't having fun with this anyway. This is stupid. So I pretty immediately, I wasn't even like upset. I pretty immediately just switched to film. I think I was like upset for 10 minutes. I got the letter, and I was like, all right, I'll do film, which is what I'd rather do anyway. Because they kept telling, it's kind of like what Jones was saying. They kept telling me like, oh, you're too filmic. Your acting is too small, you know? And I'm like, yeah, that's what I want to do. And they were like, well, you know, this is a theater school, which I thought was short-sighted. And I think that they've diverted from that since. Then I lived in Chicago for 7 years, kind of just working on various video stuff. And then my roommate Joe was like, I'm moving back to Minneapolis. And I was like, I guess I'll go to LA. And then I did.
Nice.
Yeah.
I went to the University of Iowa. I don't think there was like any particular reason. I don't know. I wanted to go to a big school. I had been in small private schools my whole life, and that was a big public school, so that was really appealing to me. Started out as pre-med. Hated that.
Whoa,
Then
really?
Yep.
Crazy.
Started out as pre-med. Did that for a year. Then computer science, which I also hated, and did that for a year. And then I was like, nope, let's write. I really enjoy writing, and I gave journalism a shot. And like some of those journalism courses I took were among like the most motivating, best classes, best professors I've ever had. Like they were extremely inspiring and awesome, and I loved them. And I have nothing but fond memories of that. And so like just tried a bunch of stuff, something eventually finally took. I wanted to write about video games. And here we are.
Nice.
Yeah. Next question comes in from Alex. He says, hey, allies, my question/scenario is this. Spider-Man, Red Dead 2, and God of War just got dropped on your door. Which of these do you play first, second, and third? Also, if applicable, which game are you upset about being left off this list?
God of War first, because I know it won't be that long.
25 hours, dude.
Ooh, okay.
That's reasonable, baby. Red Dead second, because that's going to be a brick. And I'll get to Spider-Man, whatever.
Yeah, Spider-Man's third for sure.
Yep.
Wow.
Like, I would finish God of War and Red Dead 100% and then play Spider-Man. Sorry,
But
Spider-Man.
which do you play first?
God of War. So much I need to know why Kratos is there. Need to know the story. Whereas Red Dead 2 is pretty much, you know, standalone / who knows if John Marston will show up. I'm not really like, I know the story is going to be a 10 out of 10 in Red Dead, but I'm not like dying to know what happens. Whereas God of War, like I need to know what happens.
I'd play Red Dead and not the other two at all.
All right.
It'd be tough between God of War and Red Dead, but I like Red Dead Redemption is one of the greatest video games ever made. Like I have to know what that sequel is, and then God of War, and then Spider-Man.
For me, I would do Red Dead first for sure. Yeah, I just love the aesthetic and the exploration of that first game, and then Spider-Man, and then God of War. Haven't been into God of War, but this one I'm probably more into than any of the previous ones. Different tone.
I'm so curious about this new God of War.
I don't think Jones is going to pick Spider-Man first either.
Yes,
so.
I am.
Oh, you are?
Pick Spider-Man first.
Red Dead?
Yes. I have no questions
Lies.
about. I mean, no, that's a lie. I do have
Lies.
questions about Red Dead, but like Red Dead's gonna be great. Like I'm ready for Red Dead. It's gonna kick ass. It's gonna be great. It's gonna have really cool characters, great story. It's gonna control really sweet. It's gonna be deeper, look better. I know that's gonna happen. It's like a bottle of wine that I'm like, I'm good. I'm gonna pop that bottle of wine open at the right moment.
I don't believe this for a second.
Yeah, I don't believe it for a second, Jones. Right, dude.
But Spider-Man, I need to feel now. Spider-Man, I need to know that now. Like I know what Red Dead. I'm pretty sure I know what Red Dead controls like. I have no idea. Like I am scared that Spider-Man's gonna suck. I'm scared that city's not gonna work. I'm scared they're like it's never gonna be night or there's gonna be some catch. Being like, oh, that's why they couldn't update Spider-Man 2 to new gen. Like that, yeah, Spider-Man games are just crap. There's nothing we can do about it. It's some other trick or something. But like all of you that are laughing at me are drastically underestimating how much I loved Spider-Man 2. Every Spider-Man game that's come out since has sucked. All of them. Like, and this is like 15 games that they just failed every single time, and this one's like, oh, looks like we're actually finally doing that to where we can actually like really, create that environment and that story. And that curiosity of mine is so much stronger. And then with Red Dead, it's like, that's going to be great. Like, I don't want to play Red Dead having Spider-Man just sitting there. Whereas like I could play Spider-Man and have Red Dead be like, take your time, baby. There's no rush here.
So you're thinking with your head right now, but if you were staring at the disc of Red Dead 2, Jones, it's going in first.
It's not.
Oh,
Spider-Man is easy.
I wish we could get.
I've tweeted as such. You can hold me. I put it in writing. You
Put it in
my
writing.
Twitter account, and I said, if I had Spider-Man and Red Dead in front of me right now, I would play Spider-Man first.
All right, I believe it. I believe it now.
I still don't.
Yeah, I don't believe it.
Okay, I brought that up because I said I would play Spider-Man first. I'm actually probably most interested in that game. Like I want to play. I think it'll have a good story, or at least I hope it'll have a good story. So, and just the idea of like swinging around a city and stuff. I hope they got it right. That speaks most to me. That seems the most appealing. Then Red Dead. The only reason Red Dead comes too, just length. I know the game's gonna take forever. I don't want to do that first. Like I'd get burnt out and be like, I don't want to play these other two games now. Yeah, fortunately, I'm just like the least interested in God of War right now. I was more interested in God of War leading up to God of War 3, but everything since 3 and what they talked about is just like, like I don't need to go back there. I'm not as invested in the narrative as I like as Huber and stuff. So that's a large reason why I'm just like, I'll play it when I play it. It's not the biggest deal to me.
Dude, Spider-Man's gonna be so fun. Hopefully.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Did you play Sunset Overdrive, Jones?
Like in a demo for a second, just to get the gist.
Cool.
Next question.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
I'm just that swing, that momentum of feeling the weight of like popping out of that is one of the most fun things I've done in video games in my life. Period. Like that's just I live for that, and I'm ready. Please thumbs up.
Next one comes in from Mike Cook. Hey, allies, I'm in Tokyo and loving it. I'll share my experiences on the submission committee. Who's the next ally you will be sending to Japan? Have a wonderful weekend.
Don.
I vote Damiani. Damiani's my vote. That's just personal.
I've already been to Japan though, so
yeah.
Like the only reason I'd want to like go back, I mean, I'd love to always go back, but like for like a legit reason, but it would be too selfish for one person.
No, I know what you're gonna say.
Yes, multiple of us need to find a way to go when they open the Nintendo part of Universal.
But at least one.
Yes.
At the very least, we got to send Damiani to cover that.
Yeah, like that would feel too wrong. I was like, oh, I want to enjoy it with people. I want like you guys were side there, like, no, we need people there. I need to see all of our faces.
I'll buy a ticket, Damiani.
Let's do it.
I'll buy a plane ticket. Let's do it.
When is that happening?
Couple years, right?
Like next year. I think Japan is like the target to open it. I think. And it'll eventually come out here. It'll come to Orlando first here. And then, so like if we can't do Japan, we all need to go to like Orlando for like the Universal there when they get it. Because apparently that one will be better than ours here because they don't have as much space to work with, sadly, always at Universal here in California. So the Japan and Orlando ones will probably be like the most complete version of it. Kind of like the Harry Potter park in Orlando is like got more stuff than we have here.
Yeah, the fact that they've squeezed a park in a Universal Studios Hollywood is kind of nuts. Like, there's no room for that. Yeah, I mean, it would never happen, but I would love to actually go to Nintendo HQ, not just because it's Nintendo HQ, but I've only been to Tokyo, and it'd be really cool to go someplace smaller like that. That's a very different vibe.
What if we just move the Easy Allies headquarters to Japan? What if we just did that?
I like that idea.
Bold.
What's that?
Bold.
Oh, I think you said old. Like, oh, I've already messed with that idea.
Yeah, we
already talked about
that.
Okay. Our next question comes in from Wabes. Have any of you tried the Skate games? And is there any chance of a Skate 4? I think Skate 3 is really awesome.
I've played Skate 1. Super fun when it came out.
I've played all of them, but spent the most time with 3 and thought it was cool. It took me a long time, like as somebody who loves Tony Hawk, grew up with Tony Hawk, like adhered to the Tony Hawk control style. It took me a long time to wrap my head around like using the analog stick to do tricks. I didn't like that at first, but once I got used to it.
Oh man, I love that.
No, it is. It's awesome.
I love that it's like super tough to like do moves. Like I love Tony Hawk. Like there could be total different type of skateboard games, but I prefer the more kind of like realistic, I guess, skateboard games.
No, I think it's great. It was just me being a punk and basically being like, "Oh, this is
get a 1080 to manual to rodeo."
Hey, man, I'm just saying
kidding.
where I was coming
I'm just
from.
kidding.
I hear so many people ask for Skate every time E3 comes around.
Yeah.
That'd be a really fun announcement.
There's that game that was Kickstarter or something that just went through that looks so much like Skate. I can't remember the name of it. And I was wondering if like those were actual Skate developers making it because it just looks too similar, but I can't remember the name.
It's hard not to be
Tony Hawk's
apprehensive
Skate.
when you're like, there's this thing on Kickstarter that is like this thing you love. It's hard not to just be like immediately like, nope. Because Hubert, did you play like that new Road Rage at all?
Yes.
You did get to play
Road Rash?
Or
no,
whatever.
Road Redemption.
Whatever it's
Played
called.
it at E3, if that counts.
Yeah, how was that?
No.
I've got a code. I just never.
I played that too. That was a little rough.
Yeah. Very rough.
But it's like Ben, Indivisible is like Valkyrie Profile. We play it and we're like, yeah, this is really good.
Oh,
This
yeah,
is
yeah,
good
yeah.
stuff.
Definitely.
Oh, somebody said Sessions or Session is the
Session?
skate-like game. Yeah.
Project Session. I'll have to take a look at this. Yeah, I know it could be. There have been a ton of great things that have come off of Kickstarter. It's just, innate skepticism, I suppose.
Sure.
This looks exactly like Skate. Holy cow. Cool. Anybody else play the Skate games? Jones, you seem like a Skate dude.
Not a Skate. Yeah, it's weird because I love SSX, but skating games I've never taken to.
Okay.
Don't you just love when sorry, Jones, go ahead.
With SSX, the forgiveness of landing straight is a little more forgiving, where I would always land at just off like an 85-degree angle in skating games, fly off the board, hit the concrete. I'm like, that was just too abrasive. But that's just me. That's just my dumb opinion.
Yeah, I definitely played like Skate at preview things and maybe when we had it at GT, but never in like any kind of real concentrated effort, real time into it.
What was the one that had the skateboard like peripheral?
Ride. Tony Hawk.
Ride.
I always put those in my head
No, don't.
because it's it's like a one-word title. I always like get them confused.
There was a period of time where it was really sad to walk into like any GameStop where there was always be like that section where it's like, here's all of our traded in Tony Hawk Ride skateboards. Here's all of our plastic drum set.
Mm-hmm.
Here's like the cardboard containers of all of these plastic guitars.
All the Wii U
like,
balance boards.
Yeah, the Wii U balance boards. It was just like, it was like what's the name? Like the Rejected Isle of Toys.
Yeah.
Like
The Island of Misfit Toys.
the Island of Misfit peripherals or something.
Yeah. Well, and the thing with Ride, man, it's like they so oversold it because like I think they had Tony Hawk talking about like this is it. This is like the future of skating games.
Oh,
like this is all you're ever gonna get again. And people were like, no, this actually doesn't work very well. What are you talking about? Like if they just did it as a side thing instead of like trying to make sure every single person that bought a Tony Hawk game bought into Ride.
All right. We'll do one more, maybe two more. Next one comes in from Christian. He says, just wanted to, if you could recall any moments in your life where you laughed the hardest. That's such a good question, Christian.
Solid Mike.
Yeah, last C3. Holy cow.
Yeah. Couldn't handle it, dude. I broke.
Yeah, that was a good time. It's like such a cheesy bullshit answer, but you guys make me laugh the hardest over so many dumb things. I laugh a lot during Gunpla. Gunpla is full of laughs.
Yeah.
Have any of you ever seen Brain Donors? It is a classic film. It's called Brain Donors. It is a tribute to the Marx. It's a tribute to the Marx Brothers. John Turturro's in it, and everyone and Ma Soprano. Everyone else you will not know, but those are the only two like actors that people actually know. But it's very slapsticky. It's very Three Stooges, but it's about theater. It's about an opera, and when I remember seeing it in intermediate school, I think it was like 7th or 8th grade, and there's one moment where they're putting on a play at the end that's like Swan Lake, and so all the swans come out. So like 3 actresses come out as swans, and then 3 other actresses come out as swans from the other side of the stage, and then 2 actors come out as swans with someone dressed up just as a duck, like if a duck was like a sports game or something, and the duck was the mascot, and the duck just comes out, like no music or anything, like nothing to accent the duck coming out, and then the duck just like the whole dance of ballet. And that tipped me over the edge. I remember I couldn't see the rest of the scene. I was crying, laughing so hard. And I go back and look at it now and I'm like, it's funny. But for 14-year-old me, that was just an absolute home run out of the park.
Bunch of the Dave Chappelle show stuff back in the day. Like so many of those skits.
I think the Wayne Brady skit. The Wayne Brady skit is one of the funniest skits ever made by human beings. Holy shit! Yeah,
everything was so cool. When he was on trial, the plead the fifth thing he did, I was like, all right, this is like that. Yeah, that was most consistent. And I think the things I've laughed the hardest at probably next were some stuff in South Park, like Comedy Central. They had those 2 shows so good.
I recall the feeling of laughter. We were laughing pretty hard just the other day during a stream, but I don't remember. I don't ever remember the specifics.
Yeah, same, dude. Same.
The first time when I think of best day though, there was a time where I was just hanging out with some friends in Chicago outside this little soda shop. And for some reason that always just sits in my mind as just this was a perfect day. I imagine there was laughter. Hard to say now.
The last time I laughed, it was in my head.
We now live in a world without laughter. For those of us who barely remember it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd similar. There's been definitely some things recently that have been really funny to me, but I can't remember exactly the situations. But I can represent Kyle because I do remember Kyle laughing so hard that he almost choked himself during that stream with the ga in it, the beastly stream.
Oh yeah,
gotta represent that.
Do you remember when Sophie, very early on? Sophie jumped on the table during Terry.
Oh yeah,
fell down. That gif, yeah. That one's amazing.
That was really good.
But yeah, a lot of the things that will make me just laugh the hardest are just things that I don't see coming.
Yeah.
Brad, you got any?
Sometimes when I'm with Mike and our other friend Alex, watching wrestling or something, always fun.
So we're not good enough for you. We're not funny enough.
No, we laughed on Fiasco a lot on Wednesday.
Nice.
We sure did.
Oh my gosh. It's one of the funniest things I've ever heard.
Oh yeah.
God.
You lost it.
The latest Fiasconauts out now.
Yeah.
Check it out.
Check it out on Easy Allies.
Our last question comes in from James. He says, "Hello, allies. I played some Dynasty Warriors 9 and was extremely let down, but it gave me an idea for a question. What sequel to a series you love disappointed you the most?"
Resident Evil 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one, Huber.
Good one, Huber.
Yeah.
Silent Hill 5.
Devil May Cry 2.
I'd love Devil May Cry 2.
I think the game that I waited
finished 2. I'm horrible.
so long for and was so excited about, devoured every single piece of news, got everything I could possibly get on my hands on, went to the midnight release. Like, I remember seeing the first like screenshots of it in a PSM and then going and watching the reveal trailer and then just being so relentlessly disappointed that it created this bitterness in me that will never be replaced. Final Fantasy 13 let me down so catastrophically.
Yeah, I think it let everyone down.
I wasn't as attached to the Final Fantasy franchise. I had like dabbled throughout my life, so I kind of like 13.
Just saying for me personally.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like if you were so attached to like the franchise, I can totally imagine it's like a Resident Evil 6 moment where it's like, what is this?
I remember being bummed out by Warcraft 3 changing focus from like lots of units to hero units or whatever. I remember not liking that.
Oh man, Warcraft 3 is like,
Yeah,
I know you all love
all-time-
it. I
an
hated
all-time
it at the
classic
time.
for me.
Oof. Skyward Sword.
Oh wow.
Right. Like that one just I was like reading everything. I mean, yeah, always heavily invested in like for me personally, it turned out to be like the antithesis of everything I like in about like Zelda in general. I was like, no, it wasn't bad. I was like terrified that like they were gonna like it was gonna sell well and this was gonna be like the future of Zelda. Had nothing to do with the motion controls. It wasn't the motion controls. It was just the design of that game. I was like, please, this is like the most linear thing I've ever played in a Zelda game. Let's not do this, please. Let's not turn it into everything else. And then they're like, no, we're gonna do something new. I'm like, thank you. And we got Breath of the Wild. I was like, good, thank you so much.
Deus Ex. Sorry, go ahead.
I'd really love to have a really intense conversation with you about Skyward Sword because there are definitely some bad aspects to Skyward Sword, but I love that game overall. And I know you've talked about it, but I'd love to like sit down and pick your brain on Skyward Sword.
You and Kyle too, because Kyle loves Skyward Sword.
Yeah, Kyle likes that game too much.
I like it. I don't love it though.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah.
That was a nice subtle dig from Blood. I liked that. That was Kyle likes that game too much. Blake likes that game too much is a great dig.
I mean, yeah, because I enjoy that game as well, but I definitely have issues too. For me, I think the best one I can come up with is Burnout Crash. It's like Burnout had been dormant for a while, and then they talk about it's like, all right, Burnout Crash is coming. It's like, oh wow, it's like a Burnout game just focused on the crash mode. That's awesome. I'd love to see what they can do with the new tech. And it's this cheap DLC top-down, like RC Pro-Am looking game. I'm like, okay, what is this?
Ben, I would have been with you on 13, but I didn't have the sudden jarring reaction. The realization came to me slowly because I played through it entirely, the Japanese import first. So I was left with a kind of a bad feeling at the end. I'm like, you know what? It's just because I didn't understand the story. Like, as soon as I played it,
that was not the reason.
I have the story. I'm like, the story's gonna be so good. It's gonna make sense. Like, and then I played it in English, and I was like, as I got further, I was like, uh-oh, the story's not good either, is it? I was like, oh, it's bad. But it ended up being a big disappointment. But like, it wasn't that like immediately after I finished playing once, I was like, no, what the hell was this? Oh,
Damiani, I wish you could have been there at the time because it was a moment where I was definitely overreacting. Like after finishing it, like it was just too raw for me. And I remember having this feeling like the kind of games that I love are dead now. And like
died.
Video games are moving away from what
that was the moment laughter died in our universe when Ben finished 13.
Oh, it was so brutal for me.
I mean, this is rough. I hate bringing it up in this company, but like that's kind of how I felt about 7. I remember playing 7 and being like, oh, okay. I was like, this is Final Fantasy now. Like, all right, I guess I got to go play Secret of Mana or something if I want like horses and castles and stuff.
No horses
Like
in Secret of Mana.
I thought that's why I was. Yeah, I was like, I thought that's why I was. I still need to play Suikoden, but
that was like more of an aesthetic thing, right?
that was
Not like
yeah. Like
Okay.
it's
Yeah.
not. I was not saying this game is bad. It's just like this was. I'm just not interested in finishing it.
My
But I do got to bring up 14 because
OG.
the thing about 14 is I think it's really difficult. One of the big concerns that I have as somebody who assigns scores to games is always thinking, okay, is this me anticipating this, or is this something that should have been done? You know, like, is this just me aesthetically not liking something, or is this me thinking that this developer can do what, you know, can is capable of anything? And so I'm frustrated that they didn't achieve what I wanted to. But with 14, they should have known. That's like one of those games where I have no sympathy whatsoever for anyone that conceptually, I mean, obviously, if you were an animator or just somebody doing art and had no decision making over what modes were added to that game. But it's rare that I find a game that fails so hard and I can't be like, well, this just missed the mark. That was like the people working behind 14 should have known the mistakes that they were about to make. They got rid of stuff that was in 11. It was like, why did you make something and it worked, and then you made another sequel to that and then took out all of the things that worked? And it was clear to me that they had not played really anything else in the MMO genre. Like, they had not played Guild Wars, they had not played WoW, they had not played, like, they were no interest whatsoever in, you know, picking up other things from other MMOs. And it was interesting because it was, maybe doesn't technically qualify for this because I never played 14 until Reborn, because I was like a bunch of, you know, Damiani and my friend Todd, like some people I knew jumped in when that first came out and just put a huge stop sign up, and we're like, don't touch this. Like, do not, I will let you know when it's okay to enter, you know, when the water is fine. But they were just like, just don't waste your money.
Yeah.
That was sad.
I never was anticipating 14. I hated MMOs, really. Like, I wasn't really interested in them. So that's interesting to know, Jones, that you actually were really anticipating it. Because it also came out of nowhere when they announced it. I was just like, what? What's this? Oh, it's an MMO? Well, I can forget about this Final Fantasy. Move on to 15 or whatever the next one's going to be. I'm with you, though, Jones, with Final Fantasy 7. Initially, when it first came out, I didn't play Final Fantasy 7 till sometime in the early 2000s because I was turned off by Final Fantasy 7's aesthetic as well. I was like, why is it like industrial and like sort of future? Like, what the hell happened? Like, yeah, I had that kind of bias against it, and I didn't play it till like years after. I was like, oh, everyone says this is actually pretty good. Go play it. I was like, all right, I'll go play it now. So,
but then, hey, I got 9, so I'm not complaining.
Well, it's funny because then I played 7 and I loved it, and I was into that aesthetic all of a sudden. I was like, okay, I was wrong seeing everything like in this game. I love it. Then 9 came on. I was like, man, that's old, like the fantasy look. Like, I'm now.
That's hilarious.
So that was pretty good.
Yeah, I have a weird take on 7 where like I really was into that the look and feel of it, and I really loved all of disc 1. And then after disc 1, like as the story got more and more weird, and as like the summons got longer and longer, like I progressively started to like not like that game more the further I got in. And when I did that final boss fight where things were just like taking 15 to 20 minutes for animation, I was like, this game, I can't stand it right now. I was so happy to be done with it.
I hated, and I still hate, Phantom Hourglass.
Yeah,
I think it's like one of the worst Zelda games. When they introduced like playing with the stylist, like why would I have to do that? It sucks. It is unresponsive. The Temple of the Ocean King is terrible. Going through it all the time. Lineback sucks. It all sucks.
I wasn't too hotly anticipating. I've never I know Link's Awakening is phenomenal, and some of them portable Zeldas are phenomenal, but like Phantom Hourglass and Spirit Tracks, I wasn't really highly anticipating either, though. Especially Spirit Tracks, I was like, no. But Phantom Hourglass, just the look of it, I was like,
Amanda loves him.
Spirit Tracks is way better, I think.
I just like trains, and so Train Conductor Link is okay with me. But yeah, I agree with you. Phantom Hourglass is very low on my list. It's crazy to me how much, at least it felt like at the time growing up, like Final Fantasy VII kind of influenced what felt like the aesthetic look of video game culture. Like just how people dressed and what we defined as cool felt like so much of it came from Final Fantasy VII. Like, it was impossible. Just like it felt like with Naruto when that hit big, it was impossible. And similarly with Dragon Ball Z, it was impossible going to like any sort of forum or anything and not seeing like 10 Sephiroths or Clouds, or like playing any online game and like there's a Vincent or something. And I don't know, specifically calling back Final Fantasy VII to someone.
Yeah.
But I think that's going to do it for this month's Q&A. Thanks everybody for joining in, answering questions. Thank you to everybody who asked questions. I'm sorry if we didn't get to you. We got to most of them. There's only a very small handful we didn't get to. So maybe next month, hopefully. But yeah, thank you to everybody who did questions. There will be a post sometime next month, I guess I should say, saying when the Q&A submissions will go up. So it'll give you kind of a little bit of a lead to know when that's going to happen, when you can be there to submit a question so we can answer it and talk about it for the $20 up patrons. So cool. Thanks, everybody.